Okay, well now they're farther away. I was doing a video on my favorite breeds of ducks, but somebody called me, so they were drinking water and stuff in the first video, so we'll see. I'll probably keep the first video and just do some more of this video. But these are my favorite ducks, and they are Muscovys. I like Muscovys a lot because they are good broodies. Both the mother and the father are good broodies. So, I mean, the mother's a good broodie, the father takes good care of his babies. He doesn't kill them. I keep them in a barn, so not a tight space. The female still goes to the back of the barn for babies, to have a nest. But the male will guard her nest, and he will not. I think that might be her mate. And he will not go after her or kill her babies when hatching, which I like. A lot of duck breeds will kill their babies when hatching, and this breed does not. At least not in my experiences have they ever done that. And I've got quite a few of them, and I've never had it happen. The mother will hatch out in the back, and then then I take the mother out of the barn because we have too many predators, and I give her own little fenced-in area, her own little coop, and then she'll stay in here until they get to a certain age, and then Daddy will join them at that point. And then after Daddy's joined them for a while and they're a bit bigger, then they'll get out in free range. So, I like that about them a lot. One thing nice about them is they pair up, so one female to male. I like that about the breed a lot. They don't need... Now, some people will tell you that they need the same as every other duck. No, they don't. At least in my big barn and free ranging and the choice of all the males and females that they have, they pair up one female to every male. Those are some free ranging older ones, so they're past the point where Mom takes care of them now, and they're just enjoying life. Hi. Another thing I really like about them is that they wag the tail. And they rasp. I like the rasp. And the way they talk. They're also extremely friendly ducks. I find them cleaner than other breeds of ducks. Now, I've seen comparison breed duck videos where people complain about how messy they are, but they only have the Muscovy duck, and they have chickens otherwise. Yes, they're messier than chickens. If you only have chickens, they're going to be messier than your chickens. Hi. Hey, babies. He's a little bit older, and the one's a hook leg. So comparatively to other duck breeds now, I have Muscovy, my favorite. I have, my second favorites are Mallards, and my third are Cayugas, and I will do a video on those guys later, the reasons I like them and stuff. I have also had runners in various varieties and colors. I have had Rollins. I have had Khaki Campbells. I have had Pekins. Those ones I'm least fond of, but I still have quite a few of them because people abandon them a lot and I take them in. Hi. I've had Swedish ducks, both both red and black. Both black and blue. I like the blue eggs. That's one thing cool about them. But, they're as messy as any other duck. They are a pretty breed, though. I've had crested ducks. I wouldn't suggest to buy crested ducks or get crested ducks on purpose. Crested ducks have a deformation in their skull, which kind of crushes their brain and leaves a bit of it popping out, which is what causes... Don't pick on the one that's hurt. Which is what causes the crest, and that's not... It's not a very nice thing. Here's one of the Muscovys nesting. All her feathers there. And the pretty eggs. Here we go. One chicken egg, huh? Well, we'll see how that goes. There's a mating pair. Here's a mother who just hatched out her babies. This is a side duck. She had 11 babies. She hatched them all out. It's a very good mama. Now I use deep litter for my ducks. So this is deep litter. As it goes, you add more to it. And then you scoop it out every spring or every 3 years. Depends on the size of your area and what you want to do. As long as you keep it, you can do it every 3 years. Otherwise, every spring, clean it out and then start over again. Now, it's going to save you a lot of headaches. Not only do your coops be warmer in the winter, but you're not going to be cleaning as much if you use deep litter. It's also got good bacteria for the animals, so it's always good all in all for them. Yep, she just hatched these babies out yesterday, and we moved her to this area so she can raise them up all safe today. This is at least where she's going to stay for a few nights until we make up a yard or something. They're good chicken protectors. I always keep one couple in each chicken coop. So, a male and a female to guard. And I haven't had a predator get in and kill my chickens since I've done that. So, pretty good so far. Hi. This is the one I raised from hand. She likes to bite. Yeah. She got crushed in an egg by her mommy. And she freaked out. She actually stepped on her. And she kicked the egg and it fell off. It fell off because she was nesting up high. And it fell off and cracked. She didn't actually absorb all her yolk. And I didn't expect her to live, but I held her and hatched her and held her. And she did hatch, so. And she did well. She did a few winters, but then she could manage it just fine. Yeah. I love how they talk. They're definitely a quieter. As the geese make noise, they're definitely a quieter duck if you want a quieter duck. There's another guy. Of course, like all ducks, you have to watch out for their feet. They can easily get bumblefoot, just like any duck can get bumblefoot. They do really well in winter, even with all the bubbles on their faces. The males also don't tend to be as annoying to females. My other male ducks will chase a lone female around, whether they have a female or not, or have females or not, and pester them. Where these guys generally just take care of their female and tend and love their female, tend and love their babies, and don't bother other ducks' females, which is kind of nice. The only time you have a dispute is when two males like the same female, and that will happen usually only when they're younger. They'll have a rare case of one male that prefers another one's female, and the two males always fight, but the female prefers the one male, so everything's still good. This is the other one trying to woo her, and it's always failing. Like every breed, males will occasionally fight. I have never found this a problem. They just will fight over territory, over girls or whatever. They've never drawn blood. Those cans on the floor they used to be hanging on they were hanging on the trees to keep hawks away. I gotta pick them back up and hang them back out. Storm knocked them down. So, yeah, males will fight. I don't find any males that don't fight, so, over whatever, but they don't fight as violent as some ducks, and they've never killed or harmed each other, just pull out a few feathers on their wings. These ones are free-ranging littles. Mommy's already done raising them, and now they can wander around. They're starting to pair up on ones they prefer. There was 14 of them, so there's still 14 of them. But there's like that group, and some that just like to wander by themselves, or just one or two of them together. And they're all pair up once they're all older and the other babies are older. And right now they're just cute little wanderers eating the bugs out of the woods, which is nice. And then they do fly. So if you don't want that and you don't have a big enough land, you're going to have to clip their wings. I have videos on clipping wings, so go ahead and watch those. They tend to stay on the property once they learn the borderlines, whether they fly or not. So what I like to do is, like these guys here, when they wing out in the fall, before they start really flying, I will clip all their wings. And then I shouldn't have to do it again, because by next fall, they will know their borders. And they will just fly out of the coop or their barns. I keep them in the barn, not the coop. Or actually a lodge shed is now a barn. So they like to roost, so you're going to want to put them in somewhere where they can roost. They like lots of hay on the ground for the nesting areas, and a nice snug area to nest. So you have a back area with a nice snug area to nest. And then once they've learned their territory, they will stay. They usually will stay. I mean, I haven't had a problem. You may have a problem. Everybody has different experiences, but for me, I've never had a problem. Once they have reached past the first winter to the next winter, they are good. And then they just fly from one end of the property to the other, fly down to the pond and back, things like that. And in the winter, it's really nice because then they can fly from the barn to the other side of the property they want to be on, and then fly back and not have to get as cold as ducks that can't fly. Now, I don't find that with the mallards. I have flying mallards too, and flying mallards as well do too much flying, and I always like to keep their wings clipped because they can be naughty. They'll fly over the property line because they want to go nest in the woods, which isn't good for them and isn't good for me. So I keep their wings clipped. Yes. Is this the male and one of the younger ones? I don't know if he doesn't have a female and he's just trying to guard her. That's what it looks like. I have a few males that didn't get females last year, so he seems to be just kind of watching her. So I would think he's hoping to win her heart now while she's young. And by doing that, they just take care of them, make sure they're not injured, not bothered by other animals or other birds. Bring them the food, bring them the water, and kind of just guard them until they're old enough. And then by the time they're old enough, they prefer them. Yep, she's a beautiful girl. This one's a bit bigger, so this one's to be a boy. Of the babies. There's a couple. There's a couple. The male and the female. Mating pair. Once they bonded, they bond and they mate for life. Now that of course does not mean if one or the other dies, they won't choose another life mate. And occasional divorce will happen in the Muscovy world. So the male starts to get a little limp or just not performing the way the female wants. And the new younger male, she will sometimes abandon her male for a new, stronger, younger man. I've never actually had a male abandon his female, but the female will occasionally abandon her male if she chooses a different one later in life. But a good male is never abandoned by his female. But in general terms, they mate for life. And once they've bonded, they're very attached to each other. Of course, if you lose one of the bond mates by predator or illness or whatever, rarely illness in ducks, but it can happen. But whatever happens, you lose one of them, the other one will be depressed, and it will mope, and it will call out and cry, and be very sad for a while, and then usually it will accept a new mate later. Or be like my one guy who never did get a new mate and just kind of wanders the property. There's a Rouen. Hi, handsome boy. There was some blue Swedish. The other ones are wandering around somewhere. Still have some of the other breeds, though I'm going for. Other than the ones I take in. There's a white crested. I take in ducks. Other than the ones I take in, I'm not going for buying any other breeds, though I may get a few Cayugas and a few Mallards. Mallards because Tractor Supply sells them in the springtime, and you have duckling fever at the time, and they're there, and I happen to be fond of them, so generally I buy them. Hello, chickens. Just buy 2 to 4 just to have some ducklings. And they generally take care of themselves most of the day. They just wander around eating bugs. Lots and lots and lots of bugs. They are the greatest bug eater. They're the greatest fly eater. They eat ants extremely well. They eat a lot of ticks. They eat mosquito larvae. They eat fleas. They eat lice. So, you know, really good ducks to have around. They will also eat mosquitoes, but the best is dung beetles and flies. The annoying biting dung beetle that comes along with goats. All ducks eat them, mind you, and all ducks eat flies. And those are my favorite things about having ducks about the farm, are the mosquito and fly eating, and the dung beetle eating. Alright, hopefully this has been a educational video on why I like Muscovy ducks. There's probably 100 other reasons I didn't bother and forgot to mention. And I probably forgot to mention a couple breeds of ducks that I've also raised. But it's very important when you get comparison duck videos that you get them from somebody that has raised multiple breeds of ducks. Don't get a comparison duck video out of somebody who only raised that breed. You can't really get the gist of the breed. You can't get the comparison of the breed or why the breed is a better breed than other breeds. Of course, everybody has their better breed and their favorite breed. Some people don't like booty ducks. If you don't like booty ducks, don't get the Muscovy. The Muscovy love being mothers. They love having babies. And they want to do it once or twice a year. Once is usually happy enough, but they will do it twice if you let them and they got enough space and enough fall to do it. I like it because it causes reproducing. I don't have to purchase new ones to get new generations of ducks. Now, if you're a meat raiser, the same reason. If you're raising them for meat, I don't raise them for meat, but if you raise them for meat, and you don't have to keep purchasing your meat ducks over and over again, this is a good way of doing it. The mothers will have babies. They tend to have 5 to 12, though I've had them with 16. Average around 10. Usually a good even amount of males and females.